Hey guys, I wanted to put up a really quick video on how to propagate succulents. As you can see, this is my little small succulent garden here, but I also have an array of succulents here, and I kind of wanted to show you exactly what I use in order to propagate succulents. Now, this is a really good example, but I had actually bought these ones. I didn't actually propagate them on my own, but I noticed as I was watering, and after a little time, these leaves would actually just start falling off naturally. So for whatever reason they fell off, they would actually land here on the stones. And I noticed that one of them actually started to propagate on its own. So here's the one that actually started to start off its own little succulent. And as you can see, this actually took about 3 weeks for it to kind of be this way. You can see its little pink roots right here. I mean, if I can get a better focus. You can see the 2 pink roots that are starting to pop out. They're actually starting to search for water. Now, when I was first told on how to propagate succulents, somebody said you could just take a clipping, then just stick it right in the dirt after 3 days, let it callus over. And, well, that's true. You want to actually let it callus over for a couple of days because you don't want, if you stick it right in the dirt, it'll rot because it'll get infected, and, it's just, it's like putting your wounded arm in the dirt, and that's not something that you want to do. It can get infected and it can die. Not your arm, but the succulent. So what the best thing to do is actually let it dry out. So this one actually just fell off naturally as well. It just popped right off, and you can see it's starting to callus over very nicely. I do want to wait like a few more weeks until it starts looking like this before I start sticking it in the dirt. And even then, this right here where the little roots are coming out, I would wait another like few days just to let the roots grow out a little bit more, and then I could stick it right in the soil. Now this has actually just been a week, and it's starting to get a little flimsy. Now it's going to be a little flimsy, so don't freak out. And then once this plant starts growing, then the leaf will eventually die off. And right now what it's doing is putting all of its nutrients into this new plant. So the best way to do it is once you get like a nice clean clipping like this. You don't want like a slice off of a succulent, because that's not really that's not very good. So what you want to do is just get a nice clean clipping right off of the base right here. It just comes right off of the base, and once it pops right off, just let it sit. This gets about 2.5 hours of sun, and it just lays right here on the stones. Okay, so I just leave it just like that, right on top of the stones, and it starts growing its own succulent. And then after a few weeks, about a month, you can, lay it right on top of the dirt, and then just let it start growing on its own. Now, it'll kind of look like this. So this has actually been about a month or so, and this is growing its own little succulent. And see, this little leaf, this is an entirely different succulent, but this little leaf is starting to die off, and then it's starting to grow its own little plant here. Okay, let's see what else I can show you. So I initially got this clipping right here, and you can see that clipping too. I actually got that clipping. Now I stuck this in the dirt, and as you can see, it's starting to rot off, but it is starting to root. So the best thing to do, this is like one of my very first clippings that I ever got. I waited a really long time, and then as it started to root, it started to grow its own little succulent here. Okay, so that's what you kind of want to see. That's what you kind of want. Now watering is really, really important. Now as it's starting to callus over, I don't water it at all. I just leave it on top of the stones. If it happens to get some water, all the better. But I don't physically water it, and I don't put any rooting hormone on it. I just lay it right on top of the stones, let it do its thing naturally, and then it'll turn into something like this and something like that. Now when I water my succulents, every 3 days in the summer. In the wintertime, I water it once a week. You never want to overwater your succulents, because your succulents are very, very sensitive to water. Now, it likes water, duh, because it's a plant, but it doesn't like an overabundant amount of water. So when you want to get your watering schedules, you want to set like a nice little timer, so then your plants get used to the rhythm, the timing of the water. But yeah, in colder climates, I would definitely do once a week. In hotter climates, I would do once every 3 days. You do not want to overwater them, otherwise you'll start seeing seeing your plant starting to deteriorate, and that's not what you want. So nice heavy amount of light. They like lots of light, and then they like watering at least every 3 days to a week. Okay, so don't overwater it, and then when you start your succulents, just make sure it's nice dry area. Don't put it on top of like dry soil. I've found that if I do that, then the soil tends to absorb all of the moisture inside the actual succulent leaf. So that's why I put it on top of some stones. It stays nice and clean, and then it starts to what's it called? It starts to root and propagate on its own. Okay, so hopefully they answered a lot of questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box below, and then I can go ahead and answer them for you. But until then, here's my succulent garden. Good luck, you guys, and hopefully you guys will start propagating and making your own little succulents garden. Good luck. Bye.